y'all. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Katarina. I was going to start a whole new channel, so that's why the first video has a different intro, but I decided that grounding, growing, and gardening has kept me so focused. Even when I wasn't posting, I have so much B-roll for you guys, and I think I'm just gonna post a few videos of just what's been happening, because I don't have, for a little while I felt like I lost my voice, like metaphorically, but I didn't feel comfortable speaking on what was going on in my life, and so I didn't even put that really on film. So the last year and a half, year for sure, is just so much action B-roll in the backyard, and I think I need to just do a short video bringing everybody up to speed, because I've got a lot going on upcoming that's going to be fun. But one of the ways that I keep myself really grounded is through physical movement. And so I was going to create, like I said, I was going to create a whole new channel, and then I decided that was a little too much. Right now I'm a little adding something extra to the line, so I'm just going to drop these videos here. And if I can figure out how to do it, I'll make a playlist. So that the yoga fitness stuff is in one section and the growing gardening stuff is in another section. But I really think that life is about growth and about being grateful and all the G words. So I'm just gonna put these here, and I hope you like them. Hope they help someone. Okay, so that being said, today we're gonna work on some hip stuff, kind of staying along the lines, because it's my personal journey of what happens when you're with your body during pregnancy and then postpartum, and that can continue on for years, because you're constantly talking and picking up and dealing with a person who is down here, right? But that doesn't strictly exclude, that's the word I'm looking for, other genders or other people that haven't given birth, because we all have things that roll our bodies forward and create this inward motion that we see vividly in the elder population, where you get to be in your 80s and you're very hunched over. And so what this next grouping of videos is going to be about is about retraining our bodies to be aligned naturally, so that we are getting the most mobility out of our movements. That's going to include some flexibility, some strength work, and we focused last time on the pelvic floor. So we're really starting from the ground up, and we're moving up the body. So as we work, if you have questions, please put them in the comments. If you have a specific body part or something going on with you that you were not quite sure why it started, but all of a sudden your hip is tweaked, or your something is weird, comment, and if I have an answer for you, I will answer it in the best way that I can. Again, I am not a medical professional. I am a lifelong mover. I've danced my whole life. I've done yoga for going on 30 years now, 25 for sure. I have taught fitness classes. I have directed choreography for plays. I my field is in the body and how the body works and how the body moves through space and So my goal is to help us as a collective to stay grounded in the physicality of our bodies so that they can work for us long term and help us move through this existence that we call the human experience. Okay, so we're gonna get started. Go ahead and come down onto your backs. Now, we're gonna start on our backs and we are gonna finish on our backs. So if you have mobility issues and you're like, I don't wanna be getting up and down, we are not getting up and down, come to the floor with me. Feel safe in the fact that you're going to get to stay here for the next several minutes, okay? So let's go ahead and come all the way down to your spines, just turning to the side, however you feel comfortable. You don't need a ton of space, but a little bit. Okay, so coming into the floor, first thing I want you to do is just kind of bring your feet toward your seat. Let your shoulders kind of fall open. Hello, plants. And feel your feet on the floor, feel your back on the floor. If you need to adjust, all I'm having you do right now is just find yourself connected to the ground. You may develop a little bit of an extra chin because you're drawing your chin in toward your chest slightly, and that is perfectly fine. So we're going to take a few of those breaths that we worked on in the last class together, the last time we spent on the floor. And we're just going to inhale through the nostrils for a count of 4. I want you to breathe deep into your belly and feel your belly expand. And then we're going to hold that for 7 counts, and we're going to release it for 8 counts. We're going to do that 3 times. And then we're going to take 3 great big cleansing breaths, inhaling big through the nostrils, exhaling, sighing it out through the mouth. Whenever you're ready, we're going to go inhale 4, 2, 1, and hold it. You might feel the air moving in the body. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Release it, breathing out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Inhale big for 4. Hold for 7. Feel the belly expand. Release it for 8. Being aware of the body. Inhale for 4. One more time. Hold it for 7 counts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release for 8. Three big cleansing breaths. Inhale through the nose as big as you want to. Exhale, sigh it out. You might feel some tension in your hips and thighs. Try to let that melt away. Inhale as big as you want to. Fill that belly full of air. Exhale, sigh it out. One more. Alright, so we're going to come into legs up the wall. Release any tension that you might be holding in your hips and your thighs. And just draw your heels up to the sky. If you let your eyes flutter open, oh, let's pause for a second. My body just did something that your body may try to do, and what happened was my seat and my legs tried to take over everything. That's not what I'm looking for, so let's ground in the belly just a little bit. Take a great big inhale. Exhale, release that breath. Drawing that belly button into the spine, trying to let the glutes be relaxed. Isolating just the abdomen for a second. Pulling everything in. Maybe feeling that pelvic floor engaged slightly. Now we're gonna lift, inhale, and you can bring your hands to your side, you can leave them on your belly, you can let them lay up to the ceiling. If it feels good, you can bring them above your head. Sometimes it's nice to kind of start opening that chest and that center. And we're just gonna take a few breaths with legs at the wall, letting our backs be connected to the floor, maybe rocking back and forth if that feels good. You might take some little circles, drawing, like if you have pencils in your heels that are pointed up to the sky, just kind of drawing some circles in one direction, and then drawing those circles back in the other direction, feeling the mobility of the lower spine and the pelvis. Feeling one hip kind of working individually at the other as you go around the circle. If you want to point and flex your toes, that's okay. I like to elongate the backs of my knees, but that's because the dancer stuff, so you don't have to worry about if your legs aren't perfectly straight. Don't freak out about that. Take a great big inhale. As you exhale, release your knees toward your chest. We're going to just draw them in and give them a nice big hug for a second. You want to feel the back of your head connected to the ground, kind of cradled. It shouldn't be forcing one direction or the other. So adjust that if you need to. We're going to rock back and forth slightly, just releasing that lower back. We want to give the rest of the body a little bit of time before we move into our hip opening poses and our inner thigh strengthening work, so that it can work through any tension that needs to be relaxed, so we're not working against ourselves. Come back to center. Draw your knees in just a little bit more, and then we're going to release them to the mat, bringing both feet just below your seat. We're going to start in kind of a reclined pigeon pose. So we're going to take our right leg, and you're going to cross your ankle over your left knee, just gently. Bring that leg over. I've already got some popping going on. That synovial fluid starts to warm up if you have some popping. That's okay, as long as it doesn't hurt. Gonna kind of rock the pelvis back and forth in this position, letting those hips just kind of relax a little bit more so they can receive the opening and not fight against that. I'm gonna take a nice big inhale. I want you to draw your left knee toward your chest, bringing it in. We're going to take our right hand, we're going to thread the needle through here, grabbing the back of the thigh. If you can only reach a little bit, that is completely okay. If you want to grab the back of your calf on your right leg, that's okay. I do want you to keep your feet flexed, okay? We're going to engage those feet. We're going to work active muscles as we're moving through these poses together today, because we're doing a quick section of work instead of an elongated section. And keeping those muscles active will also protect the knee and the ankle and the hip joints. So as you're here, just find your comfortable space. If you want to draw the leg in closer, you can. Feel the spine connected to the floor. Feel the shoulder blades connected to the floor and the chest falling open. If you feel yourself starting to curl inward, just release any tension that you might feel. That you're going to mostly feel this at the back of your your right hamstring. I was trying to say quad, but that's the front of your leg. So your right hamstring into your glute. And we're just kind of letting that open into that hip joint. Don't press anything, don't force anything. You're just letting everything be soft and gentle in this pose. If you want a little deeper stretch, you can elongate the other leg. You do not have to, and you can work down that leg if that feels good. The spine is going to want to roll in. We're going to try to not force it into that position, because we're not really doing anything with our abdomen and our core other than just staying active. So whatever feels good in that pose. If you want to point the foot, you can. Make sure it's just really extended and active in that muscle group. Release back down. We're going to come all the way to the floor. Keep the leg crossed for just a minute. And we're just going to let it fall open to the side. As it falls, we're going to follow it with our body, letting the hips rotate as far as it feels comfortable. If you want right here, you can stop, putting a pillow under that knee. You can draw it in a little further, getting a nice stretch down the lower back. Taking a nice big inhale, we're going to exhale, draw ourselves back to center. Drawing that left foot back toward the left seat, and then releasing as you're ready. We're going to just let that right foot fall to the floor on the other side, taking a little bit of a spinal twist in this reclined pose. Not forcing anything, just letting everything fall open. As you're ready, you're going to come back to center. Inhale. Exhale, draw everything to center, bringing the tummy into the spine. The foot coming off the floor, that's okay. We're just going to readjust, release. Coming back to center on the mat, maybe taking a minute to adjust the spine, the shoulder blades, the back of the head, whatever needs a little realigning. Inhale, left ankle to right knee, letting it fall open. When you're ready, draw that knee toward the chest. Thread that needle a little bit if that feels good. You may have one side that's more tight than the other one. Don't force anything. Again, my feet feel dirty. I hope they're not. Flexing those feet. Taking that extension. If you took it on the other side, go ahead and take that extension through that leg. Feeling the chest staying open. If it tries to draw itself toward each other, toward shoulder to shoulder, just release it. And exhale. Releasing that leg back down. We're going to take a nice big inhale. Let that leg fall open. Again, if you'd like, you can put a pillow here. You can even just release your hand underneath the thigh and hold it if that feels good. It's normal to have one side that feels a little tighter than the other. Feel your breath moving through the body. Great big inhale. We're going to draw that knee back to center, readjusting if necessary. Exhale. Inhale. Release to the other side. Letting the body soften to the floor. And so far what we've done is just kind of release the back of the thighs, the back of the hips, kind of the sides of them a little bit. We've given them some active engagement so they can release a little more easy. It's a little bit of a dancer's trick to engage that muscle slightly, and then you can stretch past your previous elasticity point. Don't overdo that because you can hurt yourself. Movement shouldn't be about forcing the body into any position that it doesn't feel comfortable in. Let's draw the knee back to the center. Movement is about working with the body to find new range of motion and more stability in our core function. All right, so we're going to go into some active inner thigh work. we are going to take the legs back up the wall. We're going to be working from a parallel position. I'm going to demonstrate my hands first. A parallel position. We're going to outwardly rotate in this position and then come back to parallel. We're going to do that a few times. We're going to cross our legs in a parallel position. You may want to point your toes a little bit. We're going to do some inner thigh drawing in. Then we're going to go back to parallel fully, rotate outward. We're going to do some of that in this rotated outward position. And then we're going to release, but I don't want you to let your legs drop all the way to the floor, okay? We're not going to let that muscle completely go. We're going to keep it active. And just so we're going to go to about a 45-degree angle, rotated outwardly. Your knees and your toes should be kind of looking at the floor, right? And then you're going to draw that in using that inner thigh movement. We lose strength in that inner thigh as we get older because we don't use it as much. We're not crouching and squatting and getting up and down off the floor like little children do. And so we lose that connectivity to our legs that connects into our hips that then helps support the rest of the system. So we're going to work on that just a little bit here. So let's bring the belly back into the spine. Take a nice big cleansing breath if you need to. Release the shoulder blades open. Drawing the spine into the floor, the belly button toward the spine. We're going to lift those hips, keeping the heels flexed. Legs are in parallel. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale. We're going to rotate open. The heels don't have to be touching. It does not have to be perfect. You're not in a ballet class. You're just working through the legs. Inhale. Exhale, release. Coming back to parallel. One more time. Inhale, rotate outwardly. And just hang out here. The belly into the floor. Inner thighs activating. Great big inhale. Exhale, draw the toes toward each other. Coming back to that parallel position. Now if you'd like to point your toes a little bit, you can. And we're just going to cross the right in front of the left. I want you to try to keep the left where it is. And then draw them back together. Lifting up, crossing over. So we're working the quad a little bit and then engaging that inner thigh. Coming back, releasing everything. Inhale up. Cross it over. Coming back to center. And releasing one more time with the left. Inhale up. Crossing over. Of course, you can come back to this anytime you'd like. You can pause the video and do 10 more if you want to, but we're going to stop at 4. We're going to rotate out, and now we're actually going to be scissoring our legs, so you're going to kind of let them switch places, and then come back to parallel, or to turn to out, but beside each other. Inhale, cross it left over right. Back to center. You're going to feel this in your hip socket. You're going to feel this in your inner thigh. You may feel this in this outer thigh too. Belly to the floor. Shoulders open, chest open. And coming back to center. We're going to cross one more time. Stay there. And then release. Coming back to parallel, draw the knees to the chest. We're going to give them a little hug. If your outer thighs try to become very active, that's normal because our outer thighs do a lot of work, okay? So as you do this more, it will get easier to release that outer thigh and just strictly engage the inner thigh, but don't be mad about wherever you are in your body right now. Just chill with it, experience it, enjoy it. It's doing something new. All right, so we're going to go back to legs at the wall. Draw that belly in. Heels up. I'm going to rotate outward. You can point or flex, but I'm going to flex this time to actively engage that inner thigh a little bit more. My seat is trying to do the work, so I'm going to work on letting it release a little bit if I can. You can even take the fingers and kind of push down on the pubic bone, the pelvis, and kind of separate that, get a little bit of traction. We're going to take an inhale. Exhale, you're going to open the legs to about that 45. Inhale, gather them together. Exhale, open. Keeping that inner thigh activated, keeping that traction in the pelvis. Inhale together. You just have 2 more. You can do it. Exhale, release. Inhale, gather together. Exhale, release. Inhale, gather together. As always, if you'd like to do more, feel free to pause the video and do that. If you're just coming back into movement, allowing that body to just kind of warm up to movement is a great idea. So going slow is perfectly fine. You might take a minute to kind of roll that spine out. We're going to let the knees fall from side to side here in just a minute. Kind of relaxing that outer glute again. Draw the knees into the chest though one more time. We are going to take those legs back up the wall. This time we're going to be working through happy baby or dead bug. And then you're going to be pushing back. So it looks a little funny, but you're going to reach those heels up to the sky, drawing that belly in just like always. Oh, I get a little muscle fatigue going on. It's kind of late. I'm filming in the evening tonight. Take a great big inhale. Exhale, draw that belly into the spine. As you exhale, you're going to release your knees toward your shoulders slightly. If you can, bring the hands toward the feet and then let that chest fall open again. So you're just drawing everything down, opening up. We're going to hang out here in Happy Baby for a minute. So if you want to roll that spine, you can if that feels good. If you want to make little circles with your heels, you can if that feels good. And then you're going to move through 4 happy babies, 2 legs up the wall in turned out position, outwardly rotated legs. So as you are ready, we're going to release our hands. I'm going to bring mine down above my head. You can put yours by your side, on your belly, wherever it feels good. Take a great big inhale. Press your heels together. Exhale, release. Ooh, if you have a little muscle shake, that's okay. Inhale, press. Exhale, release. Working with the hips is really good for that vagus nerve. Reset 2. I don't know how many we did. We were supposed to do 4. Let's do 2 more because I'm not sure. Inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale one more time. Exhale, draw the knees into the chest. We're going to come into a reclined bound angle. So if you'd like, you can take some yoga blocks or a pillow or whatnot and put it underneath the knee as it comes open. You don't have to. You can use your hands. You can use nothing. Whatever feels comfortable to your body. We're going to draw the knees in toward the chest one more time. We're going to give them a nice little hug. I'm going to take a minute and just rotate through that lower spine. Release it a little bit. Let that pelvis know it's safe. Coming back to neutral, I want you to just release your feet to the floor. And we're going to let the heels open. Taking that reclined bound angle that feels good to the body. If you'd like those supports underneath the knees, that's completely fine. Whatever feels good to your body. And in this position, we're going to hang out just for a few breaths. then we are going to do just a little bit of a vagus nerve reset. We're going to draw the knees up. You're going to feel some shaking on the inner thighs. That's normal. We're going to activate those inner thighs, and I want you to draw your knees up as far as you can until you find a spot that you are shaking, that you have a little bit of a shake going on in that inner thigh that you really can't control. It's going to feel a little funny. We're just doing a little reset of our nervous system. I've never done this on camera before. It makes me giggle. It makes me giggle when I'm doing it by myself, but it feels a little funny. All right, so you can stay here as long as you want to, and just kind of let those legs and hips do what they're gonna do, and then whenever you're ready, or it stops on its own, you're just gonna draw the knees in toward each other. So we're gonna hang out. Apparently I need okay. I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna draw those knees in one more time to the chest, and we're gonna come into Shavasana. So you want to give your legs one more great big hug. Do that there. Thank them for the work that they have given to you right now. Bring those feet all the way to the floor, and if you want to take a grand rising stretch, good morning stretch, do that. Bringing those toes and fingers away from each other. Exhale, release. You're going to come down to your spine, letting the hands fall to the side, to the hips, fall open. We're just going to stay here for a few breaths. We're not going to take a super deep Shavasana. But if you'd like to, of course it's your time, so stay here as long as you'd like. I just want you to begin to feel your toes soften. And feel the breath moving in the body. Maybe taking a few more cleansing breaths if that feels good to you. Or just some nice deep inhales. Letting the belly fill with air, feeling the feet and the ankles soften. Feeling the shins and the knees relax. Feeling the inner thighs and the hamstrings and the quads. Let go. Feeling the pelvis connected to the floor, heavy and supported by the earth. Releasing any tension in the lower back and lower abdomen. Feeling the rib cage soften into the spine. Feeling the shoulder blades drawn into the earth. And the chest relaxed. The upper arm into the elbow. And forearm into the wrist. The palms into your fingers. Letting everything just soften into the mat. Being grateful for this body that we live in. Letting the throat and the back of the neck soften. Feeling your jaw let go. And your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth.
bridge of your nose, your eye sockets, the space behind your ears, the forehead and eyebrows, and finally the crown of your head. Thank you for the time that you've spent with me today. Thank you for the time that you've invested into your well-being. That you've given back to yourself. Thank you for the time that you've spent on your mat, allowing yourself to focus on you. And letting the outside world fall away for just a few minutes. If you're ready, and as you're ready, you can roll to one side or your other and begin to walk the hands up the mat, coming to a seated pose. If you want to stretch a little bit, you can. You want to wiggle those fingers and toes. You don't have to open your eyes yet unless you just want to. And coming back to that seated pose. Whatever feels good. Doesn't have to be fancy. I want to just thank you one more time for being here with me today. Draw those eyes open as you lift up. Bring the palms of your hands to your forehead to remind yourself to be kind to yourself as you go through your day. To your mouth, to remind yourself that we should use our words kindly. And to your heart, to remind yourself that you are balanced and beautiful. The light in me recognizes the light in you. Namaste. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you again in the next video. We will be working on heart openers, so releasing the chest, opening the shoulders, grounding the shoulder blades, regaining some of that strength in the back that we lose as we start to hunch over from various things. I can't wait to see you there. And remember, as always, stay grounded, keep growing, and don't forget to water yourself.